So what you're doing for bringing everything in-house is the trend that all the PI guys are doing, and they have to. And even Google and Facebook have said, I mean, they're not saying it in these words, but basically agencies are a dying breed. So you bring in agencies or consultants to come in and get a particular project done.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, happy Sunday afternoon to you.
Yeah, I know. Where are you? Are you in West Coast or?
West Coast today.
West Coast. Okay. Get around a lot. Huh? I was happy to get a slot with you. There weren't a lot available. I'm like, I'll take whatever I can get. I get Sunday, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's cool. The weekends are the best, actually. I just love to chill. I spent all day yesterday with Daryl Isaacs.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, we're making videos at the Win. He had his conference here, the Brain Trust Legal Group.
Yeah, very cool.
You know, all the people.
I heard you speak at Pilma. I was really impressed. When you told me all the SEO companies suck, I was like, oh, my, finally somebody agrees with me. I went to your website a little bit, and it looks like there's kind of like education components that you kind of sell. Kind of where we're at right now is we're kind of trying to really get organized and kind of launch a lot of things right now and kind of do it ourselves, obviously, with trying to outsource things that need to be outsourced and maybe have somebody, a consultant or somebody a little bit higher than us, kind of see where we're at and see maybe where we get sort of the most bang for our buck. How does your company get involved in that, and what kind of things do you guys do?
Yeah, so we train thousands of agencies, and we have all the certification for SEO, for digital marketing topics, social media, running ads, that kind of thing. So what you're doing for bringing everything in-house is the trend that all the PI guys are doing, and they have to. And even Google and Facebook have said that, I mean, they're not saying it in these words, but basically agencies are a dying breed. So you bring in agencies or consultants to come in and get a particular project done. And ongoing functions like creating content, running ads, things that are part of your regular operations need to live in-house. Model of the agency retainer where, you know, you're the PI lawyer and you do motorcycles and bicycles, and then they do their digital marketing stuff has worked for a long time. But I don't think that's going to continue for too much longer because there's all the tools that make it transparent. So we teach everyone, we have these standards, and pretty much nobody can argue with these standards because they're the same ones that Google and Facebook and all these other guys go along with. So we publish all that stuff out there. People that want to do it themselves, they can go through our training, they can sign up for coaching, or they can have us come in and help get things going while you are bringing your in-house team, while you're hiring up VAs, while you are, you know, kind of, a lot of companies use us to help them get going because they need it's hard to go from where you are often all the way to ongoing operations. And so you need kind of like a 90-day kickstart to get things. So that's where we typically come in.
Okay. And you guys help find the VAs to hire or
help you do that too, because that's probably the biggest request that we get is like, yep, I see the training. I see the things we have to do. You pointed out the things that are broken. And, you know, we can hire you to do some of these things, but we need, you know, how do we hire the VAs and all that? So we help you find the VAs and help you staff them.
And how do people pay the VAs? Do they do that through an agency or do they pay them as a direct employee?
You can pay through us, but we strongly recommend that you pay them directly.
Okay.
Yeah. So PayPal, TransferWise, whatever way you like to pay contractors is just a good thing to do for your VAs, because whether the VAs are from like Pakistan, India, Philippines, Kosovo, whoever is paying is the one that they're loyal to. So a lot of PI firms will hire a VA through an agency thinking, well, I don't want to deal with, you know, this kind of stuff, so I'll just pay the agency. But the issue is that agency will probably sub that VA across a bunch of other clients, or that VA is loyal to, the VA is loyal to wherever the check's coming from is basically the deal.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
And
we'll train people, we'll help you find them. And we'll help them in that kind of incubation period, getting things, you know, it's kind of a dating period, basically. And if you like them, then they're yours. If you don't like them, then we'll put another one in. And if you like that one, then you can take that one.
Okay. I like that approach. And how do you guys get paid? By project, by hour? How do you guys get paid to do that process?
Project.
Training?
So typically it'll be $7,500 for 90 days. And that'll help us fix all the things that we uncover in the quick audit. So we follow this process that it's 3 phases. So the first phase is we do it, you watch. You as in you and Wendy from a management standpoint, and then maybe some other people on your team that are there operationally. Second phase is you do it, we watch to make sure that you have you're able to do it and operate the processes according to the way that we teach. And the third phase is you do it. So we find that that's the cleanest way to build in-house capabilities.
Now, when we went through the audit report, some of it didn't seem really accurate. So I'm not sure if when the audit was done, but when you went there, a number of things we didn't think was actually accurate.
Yeah. There are a few things like we have a tool and it's automated and it may miss some things. For example, I think the tool didn't capture your Facebook and it didn't capture a couple of pieces. But just from doing a search on you guys, it's actually hard to find your Facebook, even though it's been around since 2015 and you have like 50,000 fans. The thing that you're missing, and which is what our tool is looking for, is
I'm sure we're missing a lot. You don't got to convince me of that.
I'll show you here. The tool is just a discussion. It's just a starting point, right? So some of these things are good and some of these things aren't. So the way that search engines, directories, yellow pages, all these guys tie everything together is through these listings. Think of this as like a social security number, a phone number, or other ways to be able to say, this is Kass and Moses. And when your name, address, and phone, which is called NAP, is not exactly the same, then the engines and directories have an issue trying to put it together. So here you might say 601 Skokie Boulevard, and then here you have Suite 401. And here, Boulevard spelled differently, or here it's a different URL, or here it's Andrew Kass, or it's Kass and Moses, and the phone number's got a dash in it, and here it doesn't. So,
right,
if it's not exactly the same, then you would think that the search engines would be sophisticated enough, but these things need to be exactly the same. And this is an easy fix. This is $10 a month,
right,
to get this fixed. You can buy it through Yext, use White Spark. There's lots of other places. Most people just white label Yext to basically push the data to all the different directories, which then bubbles back up into Yelp and Google and these other guys. So if we can't match all these other entities, like your Facebook and your Twitter and all these other things back to say, this is Kass and Moses, then the system's going to have trouble scoring these other things. And if our system's having trouble scoring and associating, okay, this is your Google and YP or Facebook reviews, then the other guys are going to have trouble associating it too, because you're using the same techniques.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's not hard to fix. It's not rocket science. It's just one of those simple things we just need to check the box on.
So those are a lot of the technical things. And then in terms of obviously of getting the right sort of funnel, we're also doing, like we just started like a drip campaign with Levitate. Is that something that's kind of part of training, or is that just a way to push some of the sort of the content through the email?
You can drive whatever funnels you want with whatever CRM, whatever set of tools. We would just want as part of something that we call digital plumbing, we want to track all that. Because wherever the traffic's coming from, wherever you're doing call tracking, maybe, it's like a call rail or whatnot, we want to be able to associate that tracking. So here, blitzmetrics.com/CEP. This is the package I was telling you about, $2,500 a month for 3 months. This first stage in digital plumbing is getting all these pieces in place. So what you're doing with Levitate and funnels, any of your UTM parameters, all the tag management that you have going on, we want to make sure that is all tracked. So if I come to the site and I see that you don't have your Facebook pixel, I see that you have Tag Manager, but you don't have Google ads associated with it. And there's some other things that you don't have tied together. So you don't have proper tracking, right? There's things that are broken with your tracking. I can see rabbit. Okay. Rabbit's my favorite animal. I can see all these other tools that you're using, all as part of WordPress. I like Yoast, but there's ones that we've used Yoast for like 15 years, but there's ones that we think that are better. CallRail for the call tracking, right?
Yeah.
But all these different plugins that you're using, some of these things you need to get rid of because they're old, but we want to make sure we're tracking everything together. So as part of what you saw on the site, on our site, we have all these courses. We have 118 courses.
Yeah.
So that first one, which I was telling you about, digital plumbing, is you can come through, your people can come through and go through all this stuff and learn how to do it. Might take you a few days or more, depending on any sort of weird things you might have. Or as part of the package, we'll just get it done for you.
Okay.
Right. And every one of these things that we have here, there's these 6 courses, if you will, but it's implementation. So our thing is we'll do it for you. And then our hope is over the first 3 months, could be Wendy, could be someone else in marketing, is able to handle the things that are an ongoing process, like reposting to GMB, making videos and turning those into 1-minute videos that we transcribe into blog posts so that your best content, we're able to put into what we call our 3x3, which is your greatest hits, right? So you have some stuff.
And then once we learn how to do this, and after the 3 months is off and you push us out of the house, then first of all, what's the cost going forward, and what's the process? Is the process the same, following the same cadence of what you just did, or is that specific to every different client?
It depends on what you want. Some clients, they'll say, that's great. We've gotten the basic things done in the first 90 days, but now we want to go to TikTok, or now we want to open another practice area, or now we want to operate in another state, or now we have this JV where we're doing mass tort, or now often they want to do other things, but it's up to you. We don't believe that an ongoing retainer is the most ethical thing for agencies, even though that's kind of like what they do. I think it creates a disincentive because an ongoing retainer basically allows you to finance a lot of the building work, like building websites, doing SEO. That agencies will charge that. And so instead of charging you like 30 grand, they'll just charge you like, $5,000 a month for 6 months or something. It's just a way of financing. Right. But I think it's better where it's clear what exactly is going to happen, and the agencies are clear exactly what they're going to do. And there's no like proprietary secret, that kind of thing going on. For example, yeah, go ahead.
So you're training us to use your tool, but after the 3 months, we have to pay to use that tool, right?
You can use our tools if you want. I mean, a lot of the tools you can license independently from other folks. We have a membership, which is $297 a month. And that gives you access to what we call office hours, which is ongoing support, and all of our training, which you can have your people. And as you hire more VAs, you're probably going to want to have them go through our training and get certified.
But I mean, I'm saying is that I think the 7,500, I don't really have a problem with that, because I think that will probably help us. But what I mean, after that, what's the resources we would need to maintain what we learned in those 3 months?
You would need to staff up your team. If you haven't staffed up your team, you can keep going month to month, and we can keep helping you. Some folks, they just, they don't leave the nest, and they just want us to keep going, and that's fine. You don't have to, but
I know, once we kind of learn how to do it, that's hiring the VAs to kind of help continue doing this.
So you want to hire the VAs, but you also have to be able to supervise the VAs, and you have to understand what the VAs are doing. You can't just hire VAs and expect them to kind of know what they're doing, right?
That's for sure.
That's like hiring agencies and not supervising them, right?
Okay, so that sounds interesting. So if we started the process, then you're saying it's basically the first month we're just you're kind of giving us an agenda is what you're doing, and we're kind of shadowing it, or we're watching it.
We're going to do the quick, you see the quick audit, but there's a lot more that we do in a real audit, and we're going to find all these things, and we'll say, hey, Andrew and Wendy, here's the things that we found, and here's our recommendations on exactly what to fix, and you guys give us the okay, right? And or you may just say, you know what, anything that you guys think that we need to do, just go ahead and do it for us, and then let us know afterwards. So that's what I was showing you here, where we tell you what happens. We're going to boost, we can run ads on Google and Facebook. We can target Chicago, we can target other areas depending on what you want, right? We need to hone in on motorcycle and bicycles. Mm-hmm. We'll come in and look and see, for example, that here's the keywords that you rank on. And which of these, like most of these are informational queries, but which of these are ones where we want to get more of this? And then we can try to move it up. So instead of like, how do you treat a road rash? It could be something like, motorcycle accident lawyer. Well, that's a really competitive term. But
if I could take away that road rash blog, I would right now.
Now.
I got a lot of road rash non-case information inquiries.
That's okay, though, as long as we can collect an email address, as long as it doesn't tie up your intake and all that. Yeah.
I agree. Well, what about, so we have somebody else working on doing some paid. We just started recently a paid, like some PPC advertising. This is really exclusive of anything specifically paid, or is there some paid as part of the program?
We'll help tune your Google ads and Facebook ads. And if you want to move to Twitter and TikTok, we could look at that as well. But we want to make sure that Google and Facebook are first working. The first part of Google ads, which isn't as effective as it used to be, is local service ads, because those are based off of your GMB. And then from there, we move to regular Google ads. Then we move to display, which is like YouTube ads, which is part of Google ads. So we would want to come in and audit. If you have someone already doing your Google ads, that's great. We would just come in and audit them, and maybe we'll make some recommendations for what they're doing.
If we choose to go ahead with this $7,500 plan, I see that things will be kind of primarily in your hands, at least initially, but I would love to be able to kind of understand and have a feeling for what's going on behind
Great.
the scenes.
Love
Will I
that.
have access to that training, those training
Yeah.
modules and things?
Yeah, Wendy will add you to all these. I'll just warn you. So we do all of our project management in Basecamp. So you'll see the changes that we're making. You'll see our team discussing different things. Feel free to jump in. If it's too much, you could say, just give me the summary or give me the highlights, but it's whatever level you want to play.
That's great.
Yeah. And if you're a geek, awesome, right? We love that because then we're more on the same page, right? Then there's like less education. It's not consulting. This is us implementing, and you can see what we're doing. And maybe we can make some recommendations as we go, but this is not like one-on-one training you on how to set up performance max campaigns in Google, right? But you have access to all the training. So we'll give you access to all the courses that are in here. There's 118 of them.
That'll keep me busy.
Yeah, you could literally, Wendy, you could just lock yourself at home and order DoorDash, and you would not be able to go through all the training. People have tried, and even Daryl said, "Yeah, I've been binge watching your videos, and I haven't been able to get through all of them." Like, I know there's thousands.
I know it is pretty.
Good luck.
Who would be working with on your team doing this? How many people do you have on your team, or who would be working?
2 or 3. So you'll primarily have an account manager, who's your main day-to-day person. In this case, probably Florian, who is my best guy for Google Ads. And then we would want to have one person on your side as the primary point of contact. So maybe like Wendy, right? Sort of like a operations data, because we don't want you, Andrew, to be involved in every single thing. That's just not a good use of your time, right? I'm not even going to be involved in every single thing, except I'll look over the results, right? I'm sort of if no one else can figure it out, it comes to me. So if I'm involved, that's usually not a good sign, because that means the other people can figure it out. And then we have other people that are specialists in SEO and PPC and video editing and different tools that we have. So we bring in these people along the way so we can basically check all the boxes. Like I was showing you over here, we're going to check all these boxes.
And who's and what's your relationship with the VAs? And do you have an agency that gets VAs, or is that something?
We have thousands of our own VAs, but we also help agencies hire VAs as well. So we're very well known in the agency space for how do you train up and hire VAs. So the largest networks of VAs, we're good friends with the folks who built those. So we put a lot of the training out there to set the standards on how VAs do content marketing, these kinds of things. So we don't care where you get the VAs from. I mean, you could, maybe there's someone at the local community college. Maybe there's another place that you want to source VAs from. Maybe you already have a team of VAs. That's fine. You can have them run through our training. It doesn't matter. And we can source the VAs too. We don't really care.
Outside of this, of the sort of $7,500 kickstart and maybe $300, is that a month, or what's that charge to have access to all the videos and everything?
So that's $300 a month. So that's what we call office hours, which gives you access to basically all our stuff. There's also a private Facebook group, so you can, chat with other business owners, lawyers.
What about that software that you use that kind of keeps track of where we're at? That everything's on the same page.
That's Basecamp. So we use that for project management. So if we go into any of these, let's go to this one.
No, not the Basecamp, but like the CAP or something. What was that? The CAP?
Oh, the package. So this package is the conversion engine package. This is the 90-day, 2,500 a month times 3 months package.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put the link in here so you can take a look at it. And everything that we do, we have training on, and everything that's training we do. So that way, courses are packages and vice versa. We never want to execute anything where there's not a checklist, because if not, there's no way to audit what's going on. And all the work is drilled all the way down to VA level tasks. So if we're doing this right, there's no consulting, there's no training, there's no like, oh, I saw these other guys, they ran a campaign. Can you run a campaign like this? Like that's what agencies do. Our stuff is implementation. We want to just get all the stuff done in the checklist. And we know if we do these basic things, you're going to win as a PI.
Okay. That sounds pretty good. And how long have you, I know you've been in this space for a long time. How long have you been specifically doing Blitz metrics for?
16, 17 years.
Been doing it for a while.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. I don't have any white hair, but I'm probably older than you think.
I'm probably a lot older than you think. No, actually,
I'm older than both of you.
Yeah. I'm looking pretty old. I'm probably a lot younger than you think. Okay, and in terms of getting started, and I guess, I think I'll talk about with Wendy, but it sounds good to me. You send me a contract, or how does the whole process kind of start?
It's just shrink wrap software. You just click on the link and you can read the terms and conditions. It's all month to month. It's a simple package.
Yeah, it sounds good. I think you certainly need it. Okay, yeah. Send me
completely transparent. Super easy. I put the link in there, blitzmetrics.com/CEP. And we have people that are working all different time zones. So a lot of our VAs are international. So you may see the replies in the middle of the night, our time. But we have account
That's okay,
managers.
because both of us tend to be up in the middle of the night.
Is that good or bad?
A little bit of both, maybe.
I'm not a particularly great sleeper.
You get $1 million case and sure. All right.
That's right. That's right.
My wife doesn't like my theory. I feel like going to sleep is a little bit like dying, and waking up is a little bit like being born. So, you know.
Yeah, I've had insomnia since I was like 6, so I don't think it's going anywhere.
Well, I'm sure phone.
So you said you live on the West Coast. Are you not always in the West Coast? Are you sometimes different time zones?
I travel a lot. I speak at a bunch of conferences, and then in a couple of weeks, I'm going to Pakistan. So we're training up 20,000 VAs there. So these guys are.
1,000, geez.
You want to see what that looks like? You want to see how? Check this out. I know this has like nothing to do with what we're doing, but
no, that's interesting.
Talking about. But like this, I retired 20 years ago.
Doesn't sound like.
I mean, you can only play so much golf and, eat so many buffets. Like this is one of our groups and it's got 20,000 members in it.
Yeah.
And these people are coming in like, here, somebody posted this morning and he's sharing something that he learned, right? All these guys are sharing. Here's one of our friends. I need a Shopify expert. So then all these people are coming in saying, hey, it should be this person. It should be that person. Look, hello.
It's interesting. That is my dad who's been a programmer his whole life. He's 84 now, and he's also a little crazy, but he met a guy on Fiverr and went to Bangladesh for 3 weeks last month.
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody that's ever actually gone to Bangladesh before.
And actually met their VAs. Yeah. I get to meet these guys. They're coordinating here. They're saying like, hey, Dennis is going to be speaking at this here. I'll show you the event that we're speaking at. It's called CPC, Connected Pakistan. It's the largest freelancing conference basically in the Middle East.
Wow.
And it's this big thing. So we're going to speak in a stadium with all these people. But check this out. Here's the speaker. So they have the president of the country. They have me. And then this is basically their Tony Robbins, this guy, Qasim Ali Shah.
Oh my God, it's fun.
And then I'm bringing other friends of mine. These are other American friends of mine that I brought. And some of these guys are like a little scared of Pakistan. I said, dude, it's like going to New York. It's modern, 5-star hotels. It's like not like, machine guns.
What do the VAs get paid in Pakistan? What's the range of the hourlies they're getting?
So they start at $1 an hour, and that's kind of a training wage. And they're doing super, super basic stuff at $1 an hour, then $2 and $3 an hour. Once they hit $3 an hour, which is $500 a month, that is life-changing income. So the number one, the most famous guy in the country is Rihan Alawala. This guy is ultra connected. And I was in Pakistan like 6 months ago, and I got to meet, the president, the heads of state, lectured at universities, all this. So here, we're doing a live. It's like earn $500 a month, with digital marketing with Dennis Yu. And then, here. And so they don't even believe, like you, Andrew and Wendy, you won't believe that. So here we are, we're saying, hey, if you can do this and this and this and go through the training and get certified, we guarantee you a job at $500 a month, which is $3 an hour. And they don't believe it because they're like, no, there's no way. That must be a scam. They can't pay that much. But you know what the income is? The average income for these folks in Pakistan?
How much?
$100 a month.
Wow.
Yeah. When I was in Pakistan a few months ago, I had a personal driver. I had 2 guys with machine guns as escorts, which is completely unnecessary, but I thought it was fun. I had a videographer. I had a project manager. I had a whole posse, a whole entourage that was going along with me. And the guy who was my driver wasn't just a regular driver. He was a manager for one of my friends that owns a big company. And my guy who drove me around managed a restaurant, managed a bunch of employees, was coordinating like my schedule and like where I needed to be to speak and meet these people and all that. That guy makes, how much does he make? He makes $180 a month. And this guy is a boss. He's a manager. Like he knows what he's doing. His English is pretty good. He's got an iPhone 12. I mean, pretty impressive.
Crazy. He's making like $9 an hour, and he's
making $180, which is
less.
$1. It's like $1.20 an hour.
Oh, you're right, like $1.20 an hour. Not even 18,000.
Yeah, and then
I finally know where I'm going to retire. Thank you.
you can retire. I mean,
I can't get through a day with $100.
These people, you've seen people retire to Mexico or Thailand. I mean, you can retire for $250,000. For $500,000, you can live like a king for the rest of your life.
Literally, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I brought some of my friends. and to Pakistan earlier this year. And I said, yeah, it's my buddy Mark. He did, whatever, 1.2 million last year. He owns a software company. He owns a bunch of properties that he Airbnbs out and stuff like that. And other people, they're just fawning over him because like, how can this guy be making $1 million? And I'm thinking, basically all of our PI friends are 5, 10, $50 million. Like but I don't want to say that because that's like rubbing it in their face. Right. And then if I say like, oh yeah, the job, you can make $500 a month. Like I'm thinking $500 a month is like, this is a great job. Right. Like I would never work for $500 a month. Are you kidding?
You can't here. I mean,
my dinner last night was more than $500.
Right. I know, it's crazy. That's what's the crazy part about this world is there's not a lot in the middle. There's super wealthy, there's super poor, but the middle class is definitely disappearing. But that's pretty great, and that's definitely a great benefit to them that really you're providing. So that is pretty cool.
Yeah, it makes me feel really good because everyone's winning, right? And it's completely transparent. Everyone can see, like, because some lawyers are just not PI, but like family law, other guys, these guys kind of are cheap and they want to do it themselves. I'm like, go knock yourself out. If you don't want to hire a VA, guess who the VA is?
Right. Yeah,
and I think your time's worth more than $3 an hour, but hey, if you want to do it, go for it. Right.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate it. I think we'll start it. And then I'll just, just do it for me, $25 a month. And I'll put the application in, and then I guess somebody reach out to me.
Yeah, Florian, and then Mike is one of our operations directors. So you'll see some notes between those guys. Maybe you'll see a few other VAs that are there. And if you're missing part of the access pieces or part of onboarding, like Google My Business, Google Ads, or whatnot, then I'm just telling you to expect, like, they'll hound you saying, hey, we complete this thing. So if you can specify,
that's what I love about Salesforce. Whenever I open up a ticket with Salesforce, they don't let me. I don't have to worry about it. They don't let me forget about my ticket. They're like, "Can I close the ticket? Can I close the ticket?"
Well, if you don't get certain things done, then it turns red on the dashboard, and then our people have to get it done because otherwise, it's like, "Hey, you've been trying to get Wendy to give us access to this one thing. It's been a week now. What's going on?" Right?
Okay. Listen. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Look forward to working with you guys. And
thank you. It was great talking to you.
Have a great trip into Pakistan.
Thanks, Andrew, Wendy. Have a good Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Take care.